Hey everybody, it's Jim here, and today we're going to be seeing just how close Fender got with their newest Mustang reissue, the Vintera 2, to an actual 1975 Fender Mustang that has been refinished in this gorgeous shade of purple. We will begin momentarily with the back-to-back sound demonstrations, and then we'll talk about how they feel in comparison to one another as well. But before we get into any of that, just in case you missed the initial review of the Vintera 2 Mustang that I did on this channel, I did get this guitar at Sweetwater. However, it was not provided to me by Sweetwater. This channel does run off of affiliate links. If you are considering purchasing anything from Sweetwater, Tolman, it really does me a lot of good, and it doesn't cost you anything extra, so we can continue to bring you this sort of content onto the channel. But at the very least, if you do enjoy the content on this channel, I ask you to please consider hitting the like and subscribe button that's right below this video playing right now. For the sound demonstrations, we are going to be using the Tone King Gremlin amplifier mic'd up by the Shure SM57. We will be using two different drives. We'll be using the Brown amplification protein as well as the tried and true Benson preamp pedal. Any reverb that you hear will be coming from the Strymon Bellante. Let's hear them and then we'll talk about it afterwards. Generally speaking, I encourage people to use headphones or studio monitors when you're listening to any gear demonstration on YouTube. However, for today's video, you could have been listening on an old Nokia phone from the late 1990s and you would have still known that these guitars sound pretty darn different, and I'm going to chalk a lot of that up to the pickups themselves. The pickups in this older Mustang, 1975, are way more mellow and kind of lower output and almost a little bit darker sounding than the ones in the Vintera 2. They're definitely quite different as far as the flavors go, and I don't know, I was really surprised by that. The only thing that's not original on this guitar, outside of the finish obviously, is the volume pot was replaced with I believe it's a 1980. However, the pot value was the same, and just hearing how different that these two guitars sounded kind of caught me off guard when I was filming the demo. I feel there are two important things to remember when we're talking about tones. The first is pickups and electronics are some of the easiest things to swap out on an instrument if you love the way that it feels and you just want it to be a little bit different one way or another. And the second is tone is subjective. You might be using a guitar for a completely different genre and purpose than somebody else who's using the same model of guitar. It's cool that we all have our own unique tastes. That being said, honestly, I preferred the way that this guitar sounded compared to the vintage one. And that leads us to the final thing that we're going to discuss today, and that is the feel and the playability. Just how close did Fender get with the new Vintera 2 Line 2 and actual 1970s Fender Mustang? I'm going to start off with the neck because that can make or break a guitar. If you're somebody who's used to playing a 1970s Fender Mustang, it's surprisingly close, both in terms of the actual depth. The measurements are really similar, although they are going to vary slightly from guitar to guitar, and the actual shape of it. They have a very similar kind of shoulder going on, so if you have an older one and maybe you want to retire it, or you hold it dear and you don't want to bring it out to gig anymore and you're looking at one of these as a different alternative, you'd be very satisfied, in my opinion, with that part of it. The playability wise though, also pretty close. This has brand new frets on it. That has the original frets that have been ground down a little bit, but one thing that I absolutely did notice, and I'm gonna say is in the favor of the older one, is the dynamic vibrato unit. I'm not sure what is different about it, honestly. However, it feels way smoother. It stays in tune just a little bit more once I really started abusing the bar, and it was honestly a little bit noticeable. But outside of that, there's not that much in it, and it's kind of a weird one because I expected the gap to be a lot bigger than it was with these two guitars, but the sound's very different. The feel, much closer than I thought. So let me know in the comment section what you thought of the sound comparisons or the video as a whole. While you're down there, please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you enjoy this kind of offset content, because I love these guitars. Thank you for watching. Tell somebody in your life that you do love them. Take it easy, everybody. I'll see you on the next one.